It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.
Gamble responsibly, and also be responsible about your rounds as well. Welcome back to LOOT.BET Season 7. It is going to be Map 3 after all. Nemiga not able to close it out in the 2-0 with the back and forth endless time loop of overtimes. I guess not, since we are going to start in Dust 2. I am Benmy. Along with me is Flakes. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to diving into this one as well, seeing how it will play out in our third and final map. It is Dust 2, of course, a map that is all aim, no brain. It's just an all-out aim affair. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Obviously, there is some basic tactics and strategy to it, not to completely write off the map, but it definitely is a map where you do get to see some of those really just aim-crazy moments, really just showcasing some of the fraggers on these two teams.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of the times with new teams or new rosters, it is usually their best map just because it's such a default map for everybody. So, you know, it's again, makes sense why it's a lot of the time the neutral map as we start off the bat. Just going down a long, just sort of pushing through, just trying to see if they can get some picks. Will be taken down, though, slowly. Nemiga doing the right thing, just kind of pushing aggressively, throw a smoke just to make sure nobody can come through underpass and just get that bomb planted. And they are pretty much set to go. Truth, and see if they can pull the miracle. They are aware of where he is, though, and they will just push the question. And Nemiga, again, the aggression, sometimes it rewards them because they are just sort of self-aware of everything. That being said, Gerson will be able to at least get one, but it's probably not enough time. They don't have a kit. May as well try to save onto that armor and that silencer. But it looks like they will just try to tap heads a little bit. We'll be able to walk away. I don't know if they'll have enough time. No, you can't jump into the box like that. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think he's trying to see if he can find any extra kills, do any more damage. Of course, already guaranteeing that two of them are dead, and was hoping for one more as well, but it looks like Lollipop will escape with some body armor to play with in the following round. But at the end of the day, they won the round, so it doesn't really make a huge difference anyway.
It doesn't. Beautifully done by Nemiga, though, just pushing the aggression. And I think you can definitely get away with aggression a lot more, I would say, on Dust 2, for sure. Or you can definitely do some serious aggressive plays that will work out in your favor. We'll see how this goes, though. Marcellus already invested into the Devil Scouts. Don't know how I feel about this. I mean, there's definitely a lot of angles that you can play, but it's just a matter of can you actually get the frags? Because you can tag them, but can you follow up? And they will at least get box. Is it enough, though? They will just get shot down, and that's going to be only one frag. And they do have to back away here. Apeks, they are going to try to commit something. Gerson, again, being the lone warrior, gets two. And the bomb has not been planted yet, so this might be where Apeks ties it up, and it might be all for it, Flakes.
Let's see. Pistol's already raining down the damage. MDS just 14 HP now. And he's had a bit of a mess, really, to be honest, with the SMG there, isn't he? That is not what you want to see.
No. Might have been good to reload real quick, but what the hey, right? It is, again, this has been a very interesting match of just how close it has been, and this being a neutral map, I was expecting this to be super close in and of itself. See how long that consistency stays. We are going to see a bit of an eco coming in from Nemiga. Maybe steal a gun or two. See what they can do here. But Apeks is pretty much lock and loaded. Oh my gosh. Tech 9 able to get something for their troubles. Deagle actually speed it. I'm not surprised being that they're the Opper, but that is already so much damage. Dennis, though, gets a second headshot. And it looks like they will be able to lock it down, and they certainly made it expensive, and that's like what exactly Nemiga wanted.
That was a meaty little two-tap there from Dennis as well. with the 5-7.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, like you say, expensive round. Does mean Nemiga won't really be doing too much here on these pistols. Should be a third pretty lock and key now for this Apeks side. Should be looking at 3-1. In fact, they're going to push mid just to try and force it. Make it nice and quick.
Nice and clean. Only loses one. But, I mean, this is again shooting some fish in a barrel because Nemiga now finally has guns to play with Flakes, and can they stand up to the big boys? That is the question now. Do you think they can? Do you think their T side is overly aggressive? Like, do you think it's too aggressive for something like this? Or do you think they're fine just pushing along in the way they have been?
It's tough to know. I think they have to just keep being aggressive, I suppose, see if they can catch them by surprise. Ultimately, they have to play their game. They have to play what was going to make them comfortable.
That's true. I agree with that. Playing comfortable is the most important part. Second thing is playing by textbook. But then again, that's a textbook. You can take some pages here and there. Though, if you're getting read like a book, it is going to be tough. And just going WMS1 a lot of the time will just kind of catch you off guard. They're also going by themselves. They're spreading out very thin. And I feel like if you want to be aggressive, you kind of need to push in as a group to at least guarantee the trades for the most part. Because look at this. There's no real advantage, and there's just so much being done by Apeks to lock it down.
Really solid start, has to be said. 4-1. The pause already comes into play from Nemiga. Just going to try and be smart about this one, not let it get away from them too early on here. Take a look at a couple of these highlights just to relive how Apeks have done so well in the early portion of this game.
From an extremely close pistol to this happening, this was their buy round. It just seemed so... It felt like aggression without a plan. It just felt like they were just sort of throwing themselves in there. Hopefully with this tactical pause, they will be able to find something that works with their aggression, because they do need to play their style, you're right, but they need to go with it at a plan. It just feels very raw energy right now, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. They do need to make sure that they've got quite a thought through style here in terms of how they want to approach this game. If that doesn't exist, they may find themselves in a spot of bother. Now though, just 4-1, not too far gone, but they will have to make sure they get it together in the later stages of this game. But remember though, 4 of those rounds are back to back, as you can see. For all intents and purposes, Nemiga only getting the pistol.
And that was very close in and of itself. I feel like if Rusarn had a kit, they might have been able to just close that out, because they were tapping heads left and right.
Definitely agree, but, well, let's see what they can do now. They can continue to run away with it. 5-1, 6-1 looks pretty meaty after all. What a scoreline that would be. Early molly thrown towards long. They just have to make sure these pistols don't do anything too wild here. And it will be job done. 5-1 on the board. And that's where you start to think about the gun round for Nemiga. See what can be done there.
Just taking 1 or 2 guns would just be very nice for Nemiga. I feel like that would be a round kind of one for them. Rusarn. They're just waiting, expecting a push of some kind. They are going to start pushing through, and they are aware. So, oh, the nade! That was so juicy. Yes, they don't really have any armor to say so, but a clean nade nonetheless can be appreciated, and they will lock it down, only losing 1. Again, this has been pretty much as clean as it gets without, with losing one player. It's just very clean, very self-aware, very patient. Apeks is aware of the aggression now fully, and I think they are on to their game.
Oh, it's just pistols though, remember, so they are going to have to try and be somewhat smart about this. Conrallo looks to be going their way. It's a big kill to find. The Lollipop will secure a trade towards Long, and that may well be enough to save the day here with MDS finding truth that actually brings things in favor of the Nemiga side.
Does, but Grusarn is hungry. They've seen the light and now they want to just lock it down here on out. Does leave Marcellus in a precarious situation. See if they can at least get one, so it could be maybe a 1v2. It doesn't seem to be the case. They get one tag onto MDS, but that's about it. Grusarn is left in a 1v3 situation. They get one pick, which is nice and big, but they will be able to set up on the A site here. And that is as much as they'll get further. It's going to be tough to just come back from that. Yeah, here we go. Nemiga finally with a second gun round will go their way. Wind in their sail.
How much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.
Welcome back, folks. After a very short commercial break, we're back into the action at 5-2 here in Nemiga. A single round on the board as they do try and get themselves rolling here, but more to be done. Just 2 rounds will not cut it.
That's quite right. The bank asks for more. We need to have some kind of monopoly, some rounds strung together here, Flakes, and then you can sit a little bit comfortably or ease off a bit. But, when Marcellus is still able to buy an op, you still better be wary, and everybody has a kit. Or at least the important people that are hanging around the back.
Let's see what they can make of this, though. Nemiga building up towards short here. Slight bit of presence gain towards tunnels as well, just to make sure that Apeks aren't completely locked in on the fact that it will be this short plate. Marcellus there to try and do some damage as the beat tunnels player dead to rights. Beautiful little pick there from Akez to force that over. That means that now that rotation towards B likely comes back towards mid as the noise being made short should seal the deal here for Apeks. They hold all the cards. They should know what is coming. Are they opting to retake this, actually? Looking to clear out long first? It's quite an interesting way to approach this round, actually.
Certainly one way to go about it, but though the flanker gets outflanked and Lollipop will get 2, you can't outflank the flank, almost gets the 3rd. Unfortunately, just got tagged too much. But this, I feel like, oh, well, Marcellus, as I say that, I thought it was going to be Nemiga locking it down here, but could very well be working out for Apeks, and it looks like it will be. They lock it down, and they still win the next round. Okay, good. Somebody's defusing. But yeah, like we said earlier, Flakes, it's, Nemiga needed to win more than just one round. They needed to pretty much start stringing some rounds together if they want to have a good economy. Now they're just going to go back to pistols.
Yeah, this is definitely not ideal for Nemiga here. This game already beginning to build away from them, to be honest. Just 2 rounds on the board, Apeks on 6, and ideally hungry for a 7th here as well. Win this, they'll be even more broken as they try to make something stick here. But a great opener from Box will get 1 for his troubles as he plays out towards long. Oh, Dennis. So close, but so far.
But he's far away and safe. That's the important part. He's able to keep on to that op and set up. Arcelius just saying, look, you are in a lobster claw of oppers. You're going to just get squeezed the life out of you if you try to do anything sneaky. Oh.
I love the push, but that's really unfortunate. It has to check so many angles there that it becomes a flick for Dennis. Roussard then slips in as he gets the push coming through. That's one for his troubles, and once more leaving in a really tight spot. Box does get a big kill, but unfortunately the flank is what makes this round painful. And leaves Speedek with an AWP. Solo B forces him to have to get aggressive, and as a result, becomes a round that will be closed out.
I feel like it would have been better to just not bother with that and just go for the plant, but I suppose if you don't really know where everybody is, then you do have to play aggressive. But, I mean, at that point, if you feel like you're not going to really win out the round, then, or at least you're going to have to gamble for it, you may as well go into LOOT.BET. Or you should just go for the bomb plant so you can at least get that bomb plant bonus, which would have been nice. But now, here we go. Like I feared, back to pistols. While utility and some fair weapons that could help steal some weapons as well. Weapons that can steal weapons, and maybe that's what they'll do. That being said, Apeks been playing a lot more passively, more and more each round, so they are pretty aware if there's any aggression trying to happen, that it's sort of hard for Nemiga to get frags. Oh, Dennis. Hanging on the smoke, just waiting for somebody to come through. But Jo will be able to find them first. And already getting some frags here and there. Steals a weapon or two. Boggs is actually able to find somebody with Tech 9. But Marcelius, that's what remaining. It's a 1v1. This actually might be it. Jo does manage to get the plant. Doesn't get flash. Might be able to find somebody through the door. Shoots him down, locks it down, and that is how you want a pistol round to go if you're on Nemiga Flakes.
This is just looking, Bemi, like it's like I've turned away. You've switched on the new game, and we're casting two completely different teams. Because where is the success that we saw in Vertigo, the closeness of Vertigo? Nowhere to be seen, it seems.
No, and every time Nemiga does manage to win a round, it's something that it shouldn't have been won. And or they don't manage to close out. But this might be finally where they get 2 rounds together, which would be very big. Because needs to play it smart. They want to get a lot of heads. And they won't get anything. Just waited a little too long, I feel. And there we go. Finally, the gate is slowly opening up for Nemiga to bring this back and at least make it a very respectable half. Maybe close yet, Flakes. It's early to tell.
I'll have to see. I feel like the 7-3 is one of those scorelines where it really can go either way. You're either going to see it brought back and become an 8-7, a 10-5, something like that, or you're going to see it landslide out of play and become something as brutal as a 12-3. So it can really go either way.
Time will tell. As Lollipop goes in there, pushing, see if they can find the first frag. Will be the first one to go down though, but they trade, and that's what Nemiga's been starting to do now, is get away with either trading or just sort of backing each other up to a point where they don't even need to worry about it. You just share a little bit of the damage, and Apeks don't know where to focus their fire. Apeks starting to be a little more
a good flash.
Oh, that was.
I like that. They take the intuition towards B tunnels. They use a little pop flash to get over and through. And in the end, it pays no dividends. Cross does find MDS though. Perhaps that comeback of Nemiga finally being halted here. Nika's looking for a jewel and he'll get it. But now his position is known. Surely this is a frag for Speedek here. No, he's having to multitask, but it doesn't matter. This guy, easy peasy, not only finds one, but gets both of those kills. Both of them. Absolutely insane.
Speaking of insane, Dennis showing up quite a bit here. We'll see what they can do. They do manage to get speed, but Box, really good Q time, reflex, very quick on the draw. And, yeah, this is starting to get a lot more closer, and we're about to get into our last couple of rounds of the first half, and this could be very much in, you know, who if they tie it up for 7-7, we'll see who takes the lead, pretty much. Through Jayo being very aggressive. They weren't ready this time. Apeks starting to, you know, they don't really have much weaponry up to their name, but they're, you know, now 7-7 is now again the closest that we are familiar with Blakes, and now I'm kind of wondering how this will go down in this match. Will it be an 8-7 for Nemiga? They've pretty much strung a lot of rounds together, and there's not much in the tank for Apeks money-wise, but we'll see how it works out for them. I still feel good for Nemiga.
Couple picks attempted from long and elsewhere, but Nemiga unable to find any openings this early on into the round. Just smoked off, flashed off, mollied off, you name it. They've been pushed back.
Looking like they're getting ready for the A push here on Nemiga. Sort of seeing what they can do here, but Grussarn, they give them a taste of their own medicine. Gonna throw a flash in there. And try to push in, bait out something. But they hear smoke and utility. Marcelius, you know, they're playing a distraction very well on Nemiga. They just need to act as soon as they can. A lot of utility. Oh. So Jayo just jumping up onto a box for a second, and now they are gone. Truth just going to play behind the boxes. They can get quite a couple of frags. They will be able to find two before they go down. Nemiga, though, traded out very successfully, but they played a little too safe. They took a little too long. They will be able to get a plant, but Speedek is now in a 1v3. Has the op, though, so just tapping a body will do just fine. Very possible in this site. Finds one, but that's going to be it, and the defuse is there, and Apeks will keep the lead once and for all. That, but admittedly, was very scary for them.
This is exactly what I talked about, though. If you go back to early in the game, I talked about this kind of concept of when this was 7-3, this could have gone one or two ways. And in this case, what we're seeing is the kind of second outcome where, in fact, what looks like it's going to be very one-sided and going to blow up for Apeks actually turns into a much closer affair. You can see that on the timeline there as well, just sort of how quickly things changed. It was a perfect stint from Apeks. I think 5 rounds back-to-back in the end. So really nice to see, and it does mean that 8-7, we have a second half on our hands that is going to be very, very competitive.
Well, be careful what you wish for, but it seems like this is exactly what they wanted to do. Make it close, make it interesting, keep it tight. See if Nemiga's aggression can reward them on the CT though. Do you feel like you can be aggressive on CT in Dust 2?
Oh, easily. There's a lot of opportunities for you to get aggressive, whether that's through long, pushing short, going for the classic mid-box smoke and pushing lower tunnels. Loads of things you can do here. Even in this case, looks like holding your angles seems to work the best. Box getting a lovely little drive-by one-tap there.
And it's tied up once again. Though I feel that's not going to be the case for much longer. Maybe Nemiga will finally get that convincing take and will close out the series. I feel like winning the pistol right now, there is going to be maybe a mental boost for either side who won that pistol round, just because they've been through so much already. Look at Lollipop Flakes.
That's what you hate to see. Glocked to the face. Even if he gets one, you don't want to get glocked to the face.
That's very true. Just gave them an SMG, but that being said, they did tag a couple of the other players, so that's, you know, a silver lining for this. Speed will be able to get two, but every time they do this, they give a gun over to Apeks. Just gotta be careful. Look at Dennis. They have a dream, but it's not going to come into fruition. That is just going to be another round on board for Nemiga. But I will say, very good try all the same. Pushed in together, and that's really what you only can do in a pistol round, is just kind of go in as a flock of birds and hope for the best.
Flash through short. Dennis going to see if he can make the best of this now. Not much really come from this, unfortunately, but an opportunity perhaps to try and make a play. It looks like that's even a hard-pressed attempt at this point. Nemiga just smoking and holding everything here, denying Apeks from getting any closer at all. And yes, beautiful double kill as well. It's just the cherry on top. Seems like there's no opportunity here at all for this side.
Not really. Dennis will at least get one nice tap over there, but Nemiga just firmly holding on to this momentum, though. We'll see what happens. I mean, their aggression is certainly being warded here, and they are not pressed for time. It's just, I'm glad to see them lock it down, though. But that being said, we did talk about earlier how Nemiga, sometimes they, on the CT side, they don't need to be as aggressive as they are, because they could just let time run out. You know, they're not pressed to get all the frags. They just need to hold the sights. So if they could just make sure that they don't get caught slipping while they be aggressive, should be okay.
Let's see. Box tries to hold top mid, but will be drive by a Tech 9. MDS starts to clean things up and somehow gets away with 2 for his troubles as Jo flanks him from behind. That takes a round from being possible for Apeks to basically a done deal. It's really unfortunate as well because they're actually making good progress there, and that felt like it could have been a guaranteed kill, especially after the first frag from the Tech 9.
It's a way of starting off on the right foot. Marcelius able to get speed. It's pretty big. But again, I do like that Nemiga, while they do like to push up aggressively, they are trying to be patient. That being said, though, leaving sites pretty open, and they're very spread far and apart, and it's a 5v3. You don't really want to be all by your lonesome for the most part. And they are going to, unfortunately, move over to the wrong site, as it seems like Box is going to be left with a very impossible task of trying to hold down this site.
Well, he has got the cross and the AWP, the little cannon that can do a fair bit here, but unfortunately the problem with that gun is you get one,
Ooh.
The rest of them will use it as a chance to cross. Now, it does do a good chunk of damage, but the problem they've got is actually not going to be him. It's going to be Truth. Top mid. Not only can he get one here, but he can get a second. He can single-handedly dismantle this retake. And, well, even with him falling, his teammate found the frag on A anyway, so I don't think there's really much here for Nemiga. Should start to see some heads that he can tap at. Looks pretty easy pickings here in the end. Apeks finding every single frag. Nemiga unable to do anything at all.
I'm bringing it back. Wonder... how Nemiga is feeling. They still have the lead. They still are able to buy into this, but basically after this, they are going to have to save, and they're going to have to hand over their lead to Apeks. Try to bring it back on the CT. Again, this is where I'm worrying about that aggression. They are spreading themselves pretty thin, and they're moving around a lot to the point where they don't really have full information that I feel like warrants them to be as aggressive as they are. Because if you have the information, go for it. But I don't think they actually know what site they're committing to or anything. Because we did see, you know, we saw Jo rotating towards B when in reality everybody was A, and they left Box in an awkward situation of a 1v4. It just didn't really work out in their favor.
They do need to start to really think about how they're going to be able to play this one out through to the end. This pause a perfect opportunity for them to really do that thinking, to be honest. Hopefully, they can find something that makes work. After all, they have a round lead for now, but that will quickly disintegrate if they drop the ball here. Spending every penny they've got, of course, to try and fight in this round 22. That will mean they'll have nothing in the next round.
go. Horses are about to be released. Nemiga, they want to hold on to this league. They want to get it done as soon as they can. You can tell that in their playstyle. They're like, all right, you had your 3 overtees. You won the map. Just let's finish this, yeah? And see what they can do here. See if they can get the lucky shot. Not to be the case, but here we go. They got a couple of rounds, so they do have an economy on the side of Apeks. So can they just tie this up and take the lead? And essentially, gotta wait and see.
Apeks all bunched up here, ready to try and make a play, but seems to be just that, ready and waiting. Not quite biting the bullet just yet. Got a minute on the clock, so no need to rush, but they do have to be careful. That AWP is in prime position to shut them down again. It's something we've seen before, and we may well see again.
Bunch of utility thrown out. It is the indicator that they are probably going to push this. Apeks is taking their sweet time though, and sometimes you can't worry about that. 30 seconds remaining, and you've gave information to Nemiga, which allows them to go crazy like this. Box gets the 3rd frag, and they will lock it down. Apeks just throwing a lot of utility and then throwing out a white flag.
Dennis flash through mid doors. Gonna see if he can make the best of this now. Has the mid smoke to try and bait towards the B play. And throwing all the utility that shows that as well, but I'm getting the feeling, Bemmy, that they're not going B at all here. They're just trying to bait Nemiga into thinking that. The real play seems to be towards A short, trying again to see if they can crack this site, a site that they've struggled with a fair bit, to be honest.
It has been sort of the story of this entire series, is committing to one site and never really toying with the other. Like, we saw very little of B in both Dust 2 and Vertigo, actually. So it's kind of almost very stubborn from both sides in a way, if you think about it. Well, they give away their position. It doesn't even manage to get the frag. Lolly will be able to find one, but they're stuck in the ramp towards A long, and Gerson will just see what they could do here. Locking it down, and Nemiga just, if they founded those frags earlier, this would not be a precarious situation, but now it's almost going to have to be a clutch. But Gerson, I think, is ready. Does already find one, gets the second one as well. Just locking it down.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.
Marcelius showing it's more of that classic AWP action here. He's going to try and make the best of this. But he's been a bit quiet this series, to be honest. Back to Vertigo, there were a couple of high-profile moments from him where he was really showing what he was made of, but I haven't seen a huge amount of that play this time around. Somewhat a shame, but perhaps something we'll see in the later stage of this game, as for now, they're only opposition, just a bunch of pistols. So I'm going to try and clean things up. He does a pretty good job of just that. Leaves only one player on the actual B site itself. I'll make it to two, I suppose. Speed it coming diving through a window. Doesn't help, but at the end of the day, it is just Box last man standing. You might get a kill for his troubles, but that will be all. Apeks will equalize things 12-12.
See what they can do here. Can Apeks close or overtake it? Because we'll take quite a bit of burn damage, but it seems to be fine. As Marcelius will now resume the reins of Opper. So they, again, I feel like are just playing for picks right now. They are just sort of baiting utility, seeing if they can find some early frags, and then dictate where to go from there. Because Nemiga is very aggressive, so they just tend to want to be patient about it. As long as they just don't get overcaught with trying to play the mental game, they should be fine. Here we go here. Through the smoke, Speed will be able to find them. Marcelius does manage to lock it down, though, but now they gotta be careful of Speed. And they are careful of Speed, but again, the trades are still going back and forth. Oh, but Apeks still able to lock it down. MDS, the last one remaining. Gonna check mid, see if they can find anything. They will find two players, but will it be enough? Can they 1v2? Can't even do that. And there it is. Apeks keeping the lead, making the economy awkward as usual.
Problem for Nemiga here is, end of the day, they just haven't got the rounds to play with, Bemi. That's really what it boils down to when you bring it down to brass tacks here. It's likely to become 14-12. Drop the ball once more, and you're at 15. 3 rounds perfectly required. Get it over the line. And I think based on what we've seen here, we haven't seen 3 perfect rounds of Counter-Strike from this Nemiga side. Not back-to-back, at least.
No, you're quite right. I mean, they had to do it at some point in Vertigo, because that's, makes it a lot easier, but yeah, it's been rough for them. Nemiga, I feel like sometimes get caught very off guard because they don't usually have a lot of information to play with, because they play so aggressively and they're so spread out that, yeah, they know maybe X players here or Y players there, but they don't really know the whole situation. So, again, now we're going to play a save here, but then the economy, they're going to be able to buy into this next round. But they're going to be very limited on utility. The Apeks is going to maybe be able to walk all over them.
Do love a slow-mo highlight. Very dramatic.
It is very cool. And it makes a lot of people being shot in the air look like they're dolphins. It's very funny.
Like dolphins, that's a new one. I suppose that's true, though.
I mean, look at the way that backflip was with the Deagle shot. It looked like a dolphin in my mind. Maybe that's because I'm very low on sleep right now, Flakes. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Well, we'll take the Dolphins for what they are. 14-12, though. That's the important point here.
Yes. Could be all over.
It's a good pause, though. I like to see the pauses being used. It was interesting early on. in the LOOT.BET season, we saw barely any teams utilizing their pauses, especially in the third map of best of 3. Nice to see them this time around making a positive change to try and really make something out of that.
Because they heard the casters calling them out and go like, "Where's the pauses?" And they're like, "Fine." Here we are.
It's an important part of your play. At the end of the day, when you're 14-12 for Nemiga, taking a pause just to think about what the play is going to be may be the difference between you bringing it back 14-14 and winning the map, or losing 16-12, which is probably one of the most common scorelines in Counter-Strike. So,
very true. I feel like for them, it's more so catching their breath. I definitely feel like there's maybe some strategies or stuff going on, but it is, I feel like, very much in Nemiga to need to have a reset mentally, and I think they use the pauses for that. And that's also a very valid way of using your pauses too. Is just catch your breath, remember that this is, remember the game plan, remember whatever you need to remember. Just, you know, just don't lose yourself. That's basically what it comes down to.
Lollipop, going to try and make a play towards long, but unfortunately not able to do much more than just that. Does mean that Apeks get themselves a little foothold here to play with. What more can they do with that, though? That is the question.
Don't really have a lot of utilities, so they got to be careful. Neither side does, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. Ooh, Cilius. That shot screams match point to me, Flakes.
It does, doesn't it? It just has a bad omen about it. Yeah. It's a great little opener. It means the site is now completely undefended. The only presence is Elevator. That's a kill that comes through. Box will get a double for his troubles, but that will be all, leaving Jayo in a 1v2 match point surely on the table now. Jayo would have to go absolutely huge to bring this one over the line. Surely this is not going to happen. And there you go. Marcelius, the man to finish it off. Just the man to open it up as well. Apeks surely have a game to take right now. 15-12. Could not be in a better situation.
You could make it a 16-0. It would be a better situation. But yes, and in reality, this is something that it's very sweet and very nice. And oh, they might find an early frag. Oh, they do get a very wide shot. They actually managed to get this very well. I feel like Jayo just handed over the game. They didn't need to do that at all. Were they challenging a scout with an AWP? Like, were they challenging an AWP versus a scout? I don't really know what the goal of that play was. Lollipop set up in another precarious situation. Doesn't even get that. I mean, Nemiga will be able to lock it down.
Well, maybe.
Okay.
Just maybe. Okay. I'm going to give Truth maybe not. He's just hard scoping on him. I mean, doesn't get more black and white than that, does it?
No, it doesn't. But unfortunately, for Nemiga, that winning that round doesn't really make too much of a difference because Apeks is still able to buy back into the round because they've been stringing quite a few rounds together. So they're still good and well into the bank that they can spare a couple of rounds. But, well, they actually can't really spare a couple of rounds, but you know what I mean. But, like, financially they can spare a couple of rounds.
Such a crucial time now in the game for Nemiga as they have to be absolutely perfect. 3 rounds back to back is what's been asked of them. The first round, job done. A lot more to go forward though. Only 13 on the board. They need that 14th and the 15th as well. And then we'll go to OT. Just like map 2 all over again. Such a crucial best of 3 too, because this will decide, I believe, who makes it to playoffs.
Sure. And there's, if I'm not mistaken, 50,000 on the line. So, time to get to playing.
Yeah, definitely an important match. It will, of course, just double check to guarantee themselves that spot into playoffs. The losing team is eliminated. This, of course, is our final group stage match of the season. $50,000 available in playoffs. No cash for the group stage. This is a critical round. So far, so good. They will be able to trade their way through here. 3v4. Akez looking for a quick pick. And he will get just that. Grusan as well. Leaves Jo and MDS to try and peel this one back. He has a good aggressive position here, and with an auto shot missed, would have bought a chance, but it looks like in the switch at the moment, it all went a little bit wrong. 16-13 will be the final scoreline. Apeks moving forward.
Very strong as well. It was overall very good series, very close, very intense. But yeah, I feel like Apeks very slow and calculated, and they just managed to start reading Nemiga's aggression.
It's amazing how much I love betting on esports. It's so cool. What's even better is when I can use Cash Out. Wait, you didn't know about Cash Out? Cash Out is when you can get your stake back even when your bet is going against you. Just one hit and your money is safe. So go to LOOT.BET to cash out now.